So in this video I'm going to be covering the second generation of Pokémon, aka the Johto region. If you haven't seen the last video, I essentially took a bunch of bad shiny Pokémon, or at least shinies that I thought could use an upgrade, and I did just that. So this time I just took some bad Johto shinies, and I did my best to try and give them better shinies. And as I mentioned in the last video, some of these could even just function as new regular color schemes too, because I'm honestly a big fan of some of these. So to get right into it, just like the last video, we've got the final evolution for the grass starter, Meganium, which I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know why everyone hates Meganium. I'm honestly a big fan of it, so I'm happy to see that it's in ZA, and I'm happy to see what its potential mega or regional form is going to be. Anyway, I made this because I like it when grass types have sort of autumn-themed shinies, and regular Meganium shiny sort of does that, but not enough, so I tried to just pump it up here. For Typhlosion, I sort of tried to make it kind of resemble Hisui and Typhlosion's color scheme, but not entirely, and that's because Hisui and Typhlosion, its shiny, resembles regular Typhlosion. I was also just trying to give it like a edgier, cooler color scheme, and I thought it came out pretty good. For Sentret, I was trying to give it more of what Furret's color scheme looks like, which is like white and pink. In hindsight, I should have just actually color-filled it with pink. What I did instead was I changed the hue to pink, then turned the saturation up, which wasn't a good idea because it looks kind of weird. Anyway, Noctowl, I was sort of thinking since it's an owl, owls are nocturnal. Then I thought of the moon. Then I thought of a blood moon for some reason. And then I ended up making it red, which I thought looks really cool. For Ladian here, I just made it green. No particular reason. It just looks cool though. Then we have Lantern, which I gave a sort of silver and orange color scheme. There's no real reason for this one either, I just kind of did it, and again, it came out looking pretty cool. Pichu to follow with the Raichu color scheme, which was blue from the last video. I made Pichu blue, which doesn't really look bad. I mean, its regular shiny sucks, so yeah. Togetic, another just really bad shiny that doesn't change anything. I have two different variations here, because I can't really tell which one I like more. This one's sort of just a simple, kind of like rustic color scheme, and then the other one is sort of inverted where the eyes are white and the fur or the feathers are black instead of vice versa. I think both of these look pretty cool though. Xatu, this is the only one where instead of actually like thinking about what I was doing, I just literally took the entire design and just shifted the entire hue at once, and I ended up getting this, which I just thought was pretty cool, so I went with it. Mareep, so its whole line, or at least for Ampharos, in its shiny, its fur becomes pink, and Flaffy in its shiny, its fur is always pink, but then its like wool part also becomes pink, and then Mareep, its skin is blue, but then only its wool becomes pink, so it's like a really weird thing, but I honestly thought it would look cool because I don't really like Mareep's regular shiny. I thought it would look cooler if it just really went with what Ampharos has going for it, so instead, I made its just regular base coat of fur pink, and I think it looks really cool. Then Blossom, I was sort of going for like a clover kind of color scheme, so I just made it all shades of green, which I think came out pretty well. Apom, I did this really like muted minty color. I was sort of going for like a Yeti type of inspiration, just because it's a monkey. Sunflora, I also used some pretty desaturated colors, going in with some purples to kind of make it look like a wilted flower of some kind. Slowking here, I don't really know what I was thinking, I just came up with this in the end, which I'm honestly a big fan of, and regular Slowking shiny doesn't really do anything, especially compared to Slowbros. Girafarig, I just tried to make this new color scheme sort of resemble the fact that it is a psychic type, so I gave it like a magenta color. Then we have Piloswine and Smoochum, both of which I tried to make them sort of look like they're like frozen or like frostbitten by giving them some very like cool values. And then Houndoom, at first I wanted to make it white to sort of like invert its regular really dark color scheme, but I ended up just making this, which I was sort of thinking it's like toxic waste or something since it does have like the skull on it and everything. And it doesn't look too bad. I mean, I'm not really a fan of its regular shiny, so yeah. Then Fampier, I was sort of trying to make it go in line of Donphan shiny, and I came up with this, which I'm a big fan of. Stantler, this is one of those ones I really didn't have a reason for, I just liked it, so yeah, here's this. Elekid, at first I wanted to make it green for some reason, but then I ended up making it gray to sort of be like, okay, the regular Elekid is like powered up with electricity, so it's yellow, but then this shiny could be like powered down, so it's just no color, and also it just looks cool. Then Magby, to go with the last video where I made Magmar blue, I made it blue too. But this sort of also kind of works because now it looks like the bumps on its head are bubbles and then the pattern on its stomach is like a water drop. Blissey, what I did here is sort of something I've noticed of a lot of shinies in like actual Pokemon, where it'll take a pink Pokemon and make it blue, like Mew and Corsola and many others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but yeah, Blissey's regular shiny is terrible, and I think this looks a lot better. Then Tyranitar, this is another one I made two versions of, because I couldn't decide which one I liked more. The one is like a dark palette and the other's light. So the dark one is this, just sort of like all gray, and the light one is all white, but with some yellow accents, because I find yellow and white is sort of like a color scheme used for good things. And now that I think about it, I think I actually like this one more than the gray one. Anyway, Lugia, I made 3 for, I don't know why, I kept going and I kept liking what I was doing. So the one sort of resembles Shadow Lugia here, which would be a cool nod to Shadow Lugia itself. The next one is similar, just a little more gray, which also looks pretty cool. And the third one, I sort of tried to make it like Lugia's regular shiny, where it still keeps kind of the same body color, but then its accents are a different color. And I made them all golden because, you know, it's Pokemon Gold and Silver, and of course Lugia is the silver, but still, it looks pretty cool, I think. And then lastly, I did the legendary beasts, and for all 3 of them, I tried to give them a cool, like, white or just grayish color palette, but then adding the color of their type to it. So for Entei, we have white fur with red eyes for its fire type. Suicune, we have like gray and white fur with blue eyes for its water type, and then Raikou with yellow eyes for its electric type. And all of these, I think they came out pretty cool. I'm probably the biggest fan of the Raikou though, because again, I just think white and yellow is a cool color combo. But then in addition to that, I made another one for Suicune where it's red, just because when I was messing around with the colors, I came across this, and I thought it looked pretty cool. But yeah, that's all I did for Johto. I mean, that's all I could really find from the Johto Pokemon that have shinies that aren't the best. So anyway, if you like this, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Next week I'll obviously be doing Hoenn. For now, thanks for watching.